Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you're all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to GTA 5 and welcome to the first video of 2017. I know it's like the 20th of January right now, so I know it's a bit late, but basically for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter and don't know what's been going on, I've been really ill since like just after Christmas, and that's why the videos sort of just disappeared and stopped happening, even though I had loads of stuff planned. And that's what's basically happened for most of the start of this year. I'm still not like perfect, but I'm at the point enough where I think I'm not coughing enough that I could do a whole video. So today we're going to be looking at rocket cars. Now, just before Christmas, I was looking at all of the new update cars and stuff like that, and the two cars that I wanted to do videos on was the Ruiner and the Rocket Voltic, but I didn't get around to doing it. But the thing is, I think that most of you guys sort of know what's happening with those cars now, so I don't think there's much I can really do in the way of a video for them. So I thought I would do something a bit more interesting. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull over. By the way, for those of you that follow my videos would know that Mike normally has a blue Audi with pink wheels, but I finally got round to getting rid of those pink wheels and changing things up a bit. So Mike's car's looking a bit more snazzy now. I'm going to switch over to the Rocket Voltic because today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. So here we are in the Rocket Voltic. Now what I was going to do is I was going to do another video where I was going to do a bunch of speedruns, but instead I'm just going to do the one because I know that I said that this thing probably had a 0 to 60 time of almost like nothing. I'm just very curious to see what the 0 to 60, 0 to 120 sort of times are with this thing, so let's go! Oh my god, that was a 0.5 second 0 to 60 and a 1.337, which incidentally makes leet, which is all the more interesting, for the 60 to 120 miles an hour. And we get across there in 16.395. That is ridiculous. I think I might have actually been able to do that even quicker with another rocket thing, because that definitely had charged up whilst I was going. I only used one rocket. Top speed of 141 miles an hour. I want to see if I could just beat that 16.395 by using the rockets as much as possible. Let's go again. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a rocket run and go. Oh my god, we actually managed to get 1.151 with that one. And it's going to be charging up. I'm just going to keep spamming. There we go. There's another one. I don't think we're going to get a charge for a third, but I'm going to keep spamming just in case we do. Oh, no, we don't. Right at the end. 14.8. Actually, even with the two rocket things, that wasn't much different. But yes, this is the Rocket Voltic, which has the rocket launcher on top. But we're not going to be doing all this sort of stuff. Today, I've had a good idea. I'm going to bring out menus mod, which is something that I haven't done much of in my videos lately. I'm going to be using the object spooner because the thing with the Voltic is it's quite a small car. So I think that there might be some ways that we can spawn in other cars that can fit in over this body, but still have enough that we can see this rocket, and in some ways make all brand new types of rocket car. So I'm going to jump into Menus Mod and use the object spooner to try and make some new types of rocket car. But before we do, I'm just going to put some comments on the screen. These are comments and questions featured from the previous video, which was ages ago now. If you would like your comments and questions featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'm just going to leave those up there for a couple of seconds, and they're now gone. Right. Brilliant. Okay, let's turn off all of this stopwatch and stuff, because we definitely don't need this anymore. Okay, so here we are in spooner mode. So, because that car that I spawned in actually wasn't spawned in with the spooner, we're going to have to spawn in another one. So let's get a spawn entity into world, go to vehicle, go to super, and go down to the Rocket Voltic right there. So I think that there might be a bunch of supercars that will actually fit this. So I'm going to try and let's just get this next to it. I want to try and find something that's a little bit bigger. See, that's bigger, but it might just be, the thing is the Tesla, whatever it is, the coil, rocket coil Voltic, that's the word I was thinking of. The Rocket Voltic has quite a high back on it. And obviously a lot of these cars do have these sort of slopey backs on them, which might be an issue. See, the Sultan might work, although it is a little too thin. T20? Tempesta? Should we try Turismo R? That's a curious one. I'm going to try with the Turismo R because that's quite wide. And I'm also going to spawn in the T20. And let's try and find something. The Z80 or the X80 Proto. Zentorno. 8. Ooh. Should we go for the Adder? Because that's just a nice basic car that I'm curious to see if we can get a rocket version. So I'm going to try and spawn these three cars onto the rocket Voltic, which I'm going to keep forgetting the name of because I keep wanting to say Tesla and a bunch of other things. So I'm going to try and put these 3 on and try and at least make at least one rocket car with this thing. So let's just go back out, go to Manage Entity Database, and let's start off with the Turismo. So let's just go down to Attachment Options, Attach to Rocket Voltic. Here we go. Actually, the only other thing is I've just realised is because of the wheels, because this is sort of like an object added on top of the real car, those wheels won't be moving. So this is not ideal, but again, with all of these videos that I ever do on this channel that are relating to the object spooner, it's always sort of a proof of concept thing. Most of the time they don't turn out perfect, but I'm sure there might be a way, like if I disabled the wheels and found another set of wheels, I might be able to get it to work, but I'm not that good with it to really figure that thing out. Anyway, let's just knock this thing down. Let's just go for Z, go down, and there you can see the rocket thing starting to appear. Oh, that looks amazing. Look at that. Oh, see, now, when we get it to that point, which is actually perfect for this car because of that actual thing in the middle. See, now, do the lights on the Voltic thing sort of, do they blend in enough? Could I get away with that? I mean, it's got a sort of silver and black view going on. If I make that all the same colour, I don't think you're going to notice that all too much. I mean, we've got that little bit with the roof. It is a bit dodgy, especially with those bars sticking out. Oh, it is slightly wrong. So I've done a lot of jiggery pokery, moving it backwards and forwards, and none of it really works. I mean, I could try and line up the back, possibly. How does that work? Oh, yeah, see, the back comes out a bit too much with that one. I don't want the coil in there. I don't want the number plate. So it needs to be at least that. And that creates a really horrible look on the front, especially because we can see the wheels there. So I think we might just have to move that back to around there, maybe? Is that too far back? Maybe not, actually. Especially with that little fuel cap thing, that all sort of blends in enough, possibly. If I get all of these to be the same colour, they might blend. Let me just test this out. So as we're already editing the Turismo R, I figured I'd just go in and change the colour of this instead of changing the colour of the Voltic. So let's just go down to Paints, Primary, Classic, Black. Actually, the Tesla, I'm going to keep calling it the Tesla and the Voltic because whatever. It's not the same colour exactly, so I guess I will actually have to go back. So I'm going to make this a nicer colour. Dark Steel. Dark Steel's a nice colour. I'm going to make the Tesla the Dark Steel as well. So here we go on to Menus, Customs, down to Paint, Primary, Classic, Dark Steel. There's still a bit... Where's that colour coming from? Hang on, is that a secondary colour? Let's see, secondary colour, Classic, Dark Steel. No, there was a bit of colour there somewhere. Where was that colour? That was that bit there. Now that bit there I'm okay with being in graphite black. It might be... because the roof of that is carbon. Wait, is that the... Okay, that's actually the roof of the Zentorno. Or the Turismo, sorry. I can never remember the name. So let's just go to Customs, Roof, Painted Roof. Aha! So it would be the secondary colour of this that's going wrong. Right, so secondary colour, Classic, and Dark Steel. And that's actually sort of made it worse, in a way, because you can now see the frame come through. So I think I might have to make that a sort of graphite black or a carbon black to sort of hide that up. I sort of regret changing it now, because it wasn't too bad at the start, but now it's sort of not right. Okay, I've gone back to this one. Maybe I could just go for the black, and it can almost sort of look like a two-tone, in a way. I think that sort of works if we just go for graphite black, because that's sort of matching. It's not perfect. Again, it's supposed to be a proof of concept, but I think that should be enough that we can actually use this thing. All I need to do now is get rid of collision, because I think... I haven't done this in a while. Actually, no, the collision of the rocket Voltic we need is the Turismo R we want to get rid of collisions on, otherwise this thing's just going to fly up in the air. So let's get rid of spooner mode now. Okay, so we've got rid of spooner mode, and we should be able to jump in. Here we go. Actually getting in the door. Oh, yeah, we can't see the door. Aha! It's now going to work. So we have now made a Turismo R rocket version. Here we go. It's not perfect, but, I mean, when you're going fast, you don't really need to look at the wheels, especially if you're looking at the back. But yeah, the wheels don't move, but you can actually see the wheels of the one bit behind, but that sort of works. I'm going to give that a maybe works. Right, let's move on to the next one then. Okay, and I just had to remember that I had to spawn in one of these for each, so There we go. There's our 2. So we got everything set up. So let's just go back. And next, let's work on the T20. So let's go to attachment options, attach to, and we're going to go for this one on the end here. There we go. Look at that. That almost works. If we just try and ignore that separate set of lights, that actually almost works. But I think, oh boy, this might make the T20 sort of float a bit, I think. Okay, let's try and move this thing around. Let's see how we go. Yeah, I'm going to have to move this up in order to hide all that, and it's going to make it floating. This is not going to work. But oh no, but the thing is I can't move the rocket Voltic down below the ground to match this, because it will be in the ground, and that one actually has collisions, and it will sort of break and won't work. So I have a feeling unless I just sort of like cope with this weird double light style thing going on, I don't think this one's going to work very well. Yeah, the roof is all, mind you, the roof of the other one wasn't that great either. I mean, let's just look at this thing. You can see that we had all that going through. It sort of works because the piping's there, so it sort of just looks like more piping. But this doesn't really line up. It needs to go back more. See, if I was to do it like that and blend that in more on the top, what's actually happened here is I'm now that far off the ground. Yeah, the T20 is not going to be a worker for me. I think we might have to scrap that one because it's just not great. It's not great at all. So let's move on to the adder then. Let's go and attach this to the same one on the end. Oh, well, this looks slightly more promising because we can't see the car underneath this time. That's looking a lot better. In fact, on the inside, they're almost lined up. You can almost get a sort of working interior out of this one, maybe. But there is a bit of bodywork, so we might have to do a bit of jiggery-pokery. So let's try and move this forward. Okay, if I get this forward enough to not sort of glitch into there, we do start getting the back of that coming through. So I think what I might do is make this black. I think that might be how I'm going to work this. I'm going to try and line this up with the interior on this one. So let's just line it up right there. That's about right. That's definitely no bodywork coming through. We've got the rocket thing on the back. But I will make this thing black because, mind you, when it's running and that engine is sort of working, mind you, as soon as you use the boost, you'd notice the... Okay, let's go to menus, customs, go to paints, and we're going to end up making this black again, aren't we? Classic black. It's still sort of... It's sort of visible. But I think if we didn't have this bit here, this one would be the best so far. Because this one has the least amount of glitching. This one fits the most. We've got this little bit of stuff at the back, but actually this isn't that bad. So if we just go down to the adder and get rid of the collisions, I guess that one's actually sort of done already. Let's go and give this one a test drive. So we managed to get in, and yeah, you can see that it is sort of hiding behind the bodywork. That is a huge shame. But when the flame's going, you don't notice. So that's pretty cool, but you do notice the fact that the wheels don't... Whoa! That was nice. I'm wondering if there's any sort of non-supercars that this might work on, because of course rocket supercars are a bit obvious, whereas a rocket sort of like family sedan or a rocket limousine or something like that would be a bit more different. So I guess we've played enough as supercars now. Let's try and find something that's obscure and different that's going to work with this. So I'm thinking muscle, actually. I mean, there's sort of like, it's a mind you, they are quite low down, a lot of these. And I think that yeah, especially at the back. Look how thin they are at the back. I think the Voltic... Oh, mind you, the Dominator could work. I'm going to try the Dominator. Let's see how this goes. So let's just go back to Entity Database. Go to the Dominator. By the way, I am going to mix up my words a lot. It's because it makes me cough more if I say certain things in a certain way. This is a really lingering thing. It's really quite annoying, I've got to say. So apologise for my weird talking. Attachment options, attach to Voltic. Here we go. So this has a lot to go down on. So we're going to move that down first. How's this going to come out? This might actually be too big. Look at that. It's almost too big. If we move this forwards to the point... Okay, that's kind of weird. Because we have got the back wheel sticking out there. We have got a bit of engine. Oh, look at that. I want to get this forward enough that you can see the back without the stuff in it. But that does mean that you're not getting the back of the coil. I think it's impossible for us to get one of those that's perfect, I think. But we can have that there. Oh, God. This isn't going to work again, is it? Right. Let's just go to the Dominator and turn off collisions. I'm going to do another one because this one clearly doesn't work that great. But let's just give this one a test drive just so you can see what this looks like with flames coming out the back. I mean, as a proof of concept, if anyone is really good with, like, 3D modeling and stuff, I don't know if actually, I haven't looked at GTA mods in a while. I'm just sort of trying to, I'm using this as a non-mod to sort of get back into the swing of things. Actually, I say non-mod, it's just a mod that I'm already sort of comfortable with. So there might actually be someone who's already made something like this, and if there are, I will definitely do a video on it. But if anyone is really good at 3D modeling, just take, like, that whole rocket bit off the back and just shove it on something else. And just use the rocket functionality. That would be so amazing. I think that that stuff that's already there is quite generic enough that there are so many cars you could build that into. But I'm going to say this is a failure because it's just not the right size and shape. It just doesn't work. Let's try something else. Okay, I'm going to go into the sedans for this one and try and find something. I mean, the Asea, that would be pretty interesting. But I think not. I want something that's got a sort of low back that can fit the rocket thing in, but not too low that you end up getting the Tesla thing sort of sticking out. I think that's not going to work. Oh, this is difficult. Maybe the ingot. See, I thought like maybe getting the estate and sort of like making the boot open and then having the rocket stick out, but then we'd still see the Tesla stuff on the inside, so that might not work. Actually, this is way too thin. That's way too thin for this car because the Voltic is actually wider than the ingot. I could do it with the Regina though. Let me give this a try. This is going to be another proof of concept. I guess you guys could probably like suggest any more of these that you think might fit better. Maybe I'll do another video. I don't know if I'll do another video. I'm not entirely sure. But let's just do this as our final proof of concept for this video at least. So let's go to the Regina and we're going to attach it to the Rocket Voltic. Wow, it fits inside the car completely. Good God. Now, I know that this is going to look weird when we turn because the relation to the turning of the car that we're driving versus the big giant car over the top is going to be wrong. If that makes any sense at all. So let's just move this up so this is actually lining up with the road here because it was sort of underground a bit. I guess that's sort of... Ah, see, look, we've actually got a bit of a thing with the front and the back here. So let's just do a bit of a pitch on this one. Something we haven't done much in a while. There we go. I'm going to pitch that down and drop it there. That should be about level. We do have the issue of the wheels sticking through of the other car, but that's not something I can really help with unless... Let's just try this out. Let's just go to... Where is it now? Where did I hide the wheels? Was it in customs? Wheels... Remove tires, remove wheels. Wasn't there a way to remove wheels once? Oh yeah, make all wheels invisible. That can sort of work. I didn't think to do that for the other ones. Okay, so these ones might work slightly better if I did hide the wheels, especially this one. Actually all of them. I don't know how that's going to drive. I don't know if that getting rid of all the wheels... Oh, it just makes them invisible, so it should still work technically. Right, let's just give this a try. So, first of all, this pitch has sort of ruined the rake of this car. But I guess it doesn't matter because it's just going to be a rocket car. So, let's just go back out to attachment options. And, oh no, that's the Rocket Voltic. Let's go to the Regina attachment options. And we'll keep it at that. Maybe we'll go one lower. There we go. And we'll start moving it forward now. And I'm also going to tint the windows as well so we can't see what's going on the inside. But I will get rid of the back door. So that's going to be enough for that. Or do I even need to get rid of the back door? Actually, yeah, if I did that, you're going to see the bodywork through there. Okay, that's not going to work. So I'm going to move that the other way. So it's all back inside the car completely. Like that. Then I'm going to go to menus, customs, doors, and I'm going to go to... Where's the lock? Oh, these are all locks. Oh, they're lock statuses. Okay, unlocked. Action. Remove. Trunk. Right, okay. Oh, yeah, we can see the coil. That's a bit more obvious than I was hoping for. Maybe there's some objects that we could probably find to sort of hide the coil, but I don't know what they are. As I've explained in many of my videos before, I don't really have a definitive list of like what all the objects are like in my head and what they're called, so it's really hard to find the right object. But I'm sure there might be something we can use to hide it, but I'm not going to find it today. So I think the best I can ask for is if I just go to the Rocket Voltic, I'm going to try and just make it as bland looking as possible. So maybe I'll just go for primary not metallic, matte and black. Just to make it even darker, or maybe a grey. So, see, the grey actually sort of like blends in slightly with the carpet. So I'm going to go with grey. And then secondary, I'll do the same thing. Just make that grey. Like that, so it's just a bit more obscure. I'll also change the number plate to a black one as well, just so we don't notice that as much. There we go. Let's just make that black. There we go. I don't know what else I can do. It's sort of, yeah, I don't know. If I just go back to the Regina and then I go to the menus, customs, and I go to Windows, if I just tilt them all to dark smoke, that sort of hides it on the side at least. Even if we do still get that thing in the back, I can't really do much about it, I guess. So there we go, there's that. Oh yeah, we also have to get rid of collision, and let's go out of spooner mode and give this a try. Yeah, I've definitely messed up all of the rake by changing the pitch on that thing, so that's something that I probably wouldn't do again. But it does work. Actually, when you have this going and you hit the rocket thing, I guess the sort of back rake would sort of work because it makes it look like it's going really fast and stuff. But this sort of works. If anyone was to get this, like, get this car, remove the boot, or like remove some of the boot and just have this big giant rocket thing built inside with some other stuff surrounding it, so there's no sort of car inside, just sort of the jet thing, or maybe two jets. I don't know if you can actually make it so you can have two jets with animations and fire coming out of both jets. That's something to try and look up, but there we go, look, it works. That's awesome. We've got a bit of a crash there. Actually, does this give damage to the car? Oh, it does. I could hang on this side you can see there's a bit of damage going on. But that's not bad. That's a pretty cool proof of concept. If someone was to make this much better in a 3D modeling thing, maybe if one of you guys are modders, just make this right now and I would do a video on it because it's absolutely amazing. That's it. I'm sure someone, I don't know if anyone has, but if anyone hasn't, just get to it. If anyone has, I'm probably going to find it in the next few days when I go back and search for all the mods that I've missed. And I'll possibly do a video on that if I find anything. If not, let me know on Twitter at Figureight. Links for my Twitter in the description below. If you are a mod maker and you have made a sort of mod that adds this rocket thing to a bunch of different cars, because it would be a lot better than using this menus custom object spooner thing. But I guess that's it. There's a bunch of proof of concepts I've just smashed into right there. Oh yeah, obviously because of the collision thing, that's a bit awkward. Oh dear, I'm stuck. Yeah. Okay, well, there we go. That's it. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you're watching this in like the first day of this video being out, this means that you are a subscriber. Obviously, probably means you're a subscriber and that you've stuck with me even though I haven't been posting since late last year. I can only apologize. I've been very ill. It's very hard to get back into things. If any of you make YouTube videos and you sort of do them on the regular, the second you stop, it is so difficult to get back in. It's really hard to explain. Some of you guys probably don't get it, but for those of you that make YouTube videos will probably know what I'm talking about. But it might take me a bit of time to get back into the swing of things, but hopefully you guys won't mind. And thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate it so much. Hope you've all had an amazing Christmas. Hope you all had brilliant New Year's celebrations. Hopefully your 2017s are going well so far, but I will see you in another video. I don't know if I'm doing videos daily or every other day just to start up with, but there'll be videos coming soon. Don't forget, Twitter is the place to be to find out what the hell I'm doing. If you're not following me on Twitter, you can't moan at me on YouTube for not knowing what I'm doing. Twitter is the answer. Thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!